received several calls from constituents who are concerned that their votes are being miscast.
Early voting is off and running, but reports of voter irregularities are already making waves. Meanwhile, crucial swing states are saying they will not have results ready by the end of election night. It's raising a lot of serious red flags about the integrity of the voting system. I'm Ben Swann, and this is Truth in Media. Voters in Shelby County, Tennessee are reporting problems with their votes not registering properly just under a week into early voting. We're talking about issues at around 15 different early voting sites, and it all seems to come down to how people are using new voting machines. Turns out the touch screens are super sensitive, which is causing a lot of confusion. County officials say there are no major irregularities, but let's be real here. That doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing to be concerned about. As we inch closer to Election Day, let's face it, developments like these could shake people's trust in the system.
Well, you know, in 2020, we had the results of our highest turnout election in Michigan history within 24 hours of the polls closing. The unofficial results were completed by 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So we're tracking that again this year.
We're talking about trusting the system here, and today we are learning multiple states will not have election results ready by the end of election night. Those states are Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. You heard that right. Some of the most important swing states in the country are saying it could take days to tally up the votes. And if you're wondering why this is happening in a country that's as advanced as the U.S., you're not alone. While these states are relying on machines and all this technology, you have to ask how it is that some countries around the world with far fewer resources manage to hand count ballots and get done in a single day. Take, for instance, the state of Florida. It's the third most populated state in the United States, and they say they will have all the votes counted and the results on election night. But states like Georgia say it could be until Friday when they get their final count.
Even 75% of all the vote totals will be reported no later than 8 p.m. on election night.
Won't take 7 days to tabulate votes, as he said?
Absolutely not. What we will be waiting for is the overseas ballots that come in no later than Friday.
The logic doesn't seem to add up, does it? Well, you know what else doesn't add up? Apparently the voter registry lists in Michigan, because get this, according to reports, the state's registry lists 8.4 million people. The only thing is, that's about 500,000 more registered voters than are eligible voters in the entire state. That's because of a 2018 law. It automatically registered anyone over 18 when they apply for a driver's license. It sounds good in theory, but it's led to bloated voter rolls. State officials say it's not really a problem. They say there's no evidence of fraud, but Republicans are claiming this could open the door to potential bad actors. And with Michigan set to play a pivotal role in this upcoming election, some say that these bloated voter rolls are a bigger deal than they're making it out to be. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris is hitting the campaign trail hard today, making stops in key battleground states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. All eyes are on her as she pushes to energize voters in these crucial areas. Well, meanwhile, former President Donald Trump is en route to North Carolina. His schedule? Surveying hurricane damage before heading to Greenville for a rally later in the day. Over the weekend, though, Trump made quite a splash because he dropped by a McDonald's in Pennsylvania, where he decided to go back and actually cook French fries.
You never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I was always wondering, wow, that's pretty good to go like that.
We will give them salt pancakes.
Watch this sucker. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious.
Well, it's most likely just a jab at his opponent. She claims to have worked at a McDonald's during college, but has never provided any proof of it. In fact, McDonald's says there's no record that Kamala Harris ever worked there. I guess Tim Walz isn't the only knucklehead on the campaign trail who tends to misspeak.
She's much worse than him. He was a much better candidate than her, actually. And when we hopefully win, dispose of her, I like her a lot, but right now I can't stand her. It's true. I can't stand her.
And that's not all, because last week Donald Trump headlined the Al Smith Catholic Charity Dinner. It's a long-standing tradition in an election year. Both candidates get up, give a speech, and actually tell jokes. It's pretty lighthearted, but let's face it, it's a brutal campaigning season, and at least there were some jokes made. Look at this.
Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
But Vice President Kamala Harris decided not to attend. Instead, she sent in a very awkward tape message that was really more like a skit with a former Saturday Night Live cast member. The move backfired. Social media lit up, slamming Kamala Harris as anti-Catholic and anti-Christian. And then you've probably seen this video.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Now, to be fair, it's unclear exactly what the hecklers in the crowd are shouting at Kamala Harris. The internet claims that they shouted, "Christ is Lord" or "Christ is King." Either way, it's not a very good look for her. And once again, the vice president is playing defense, responding to those accusations by subtly showing up at a worship service at New Birth Church in Georgia, trying to paint herself as a woman of faith. But in this case, it just seems a little too late. Why is Kamala Harris constantly on the defensive? First, Donald Trump shows up at a McDonald's to basically reclaim Kamala's stolen valor, as she claimed to have previously worked at a fast food chain. Now she winds up at a church service days after social media calls her out, saying that she doesn't like Christians. You think we know what the answer is, though? Look at her polling. It is a mess right now. Here's the latest. Real Clear Politics and Silver Bulletin Electoral College show former President Trump has over a 90% chance of winning the Electoral College. And now the former president is leading in at least 5 swing states. Kamala Harris hopes that her dwindling campaign will get better, but right now, it looks like a sinking ship. That's our show. You can catch all of the latest coverage on the race. Check us out on X at @truth_media and watch all of our full episodes right now at truthinmedia.com.